Hi, I'm Darrell Tank. I told you I'd be back with another video, and today I'd like to be able to discuss one of the biggest problems I think people have when trying to draw a nose successfully. I think one of the greatest secrets in being able to draw a nose is to be able to have contour. And contour, even though it's very simple, and I hope I can simplify it, I'm going to show you how to identify it. It can be very complicated if you don't know what you're looking for and then don't know how to put that into your drawing or your piece of art. So I would like to be able to just show you this simple little demonstration and hope that I can make it clear to you. An artist is most often, when they're drawing or painting, working on a flat piece of paper. This is a two-dimensional object. We want to be able to suggest to the people, if we want to, and we need to, that this is curved. Well, how are we going to do that with a flat piece of paper? We have to be able to create an illusion. And one of the ways that we have to be able to create an illusion, I hope I can show you with this prop. We want to be able to suggest that a piece of paper that's flat has this kind of contour to it. And one of the ways to identify in your reference, and then later you watch for it as you draw, is that we are going to be able to see the entire surface up and over this contour and down the other side, and there's nothing obstructing our view. If it was recessed and was going in to a place and back out, we would want to be able to see in and out without anything obstructing our view. No interruption. And so that is one of the main things to watch for. Can I see everything? Even if it's very small, I want to be able to know that something doesn't go out of my sight. Okay, now we want to be able to see how the color or the value, the amount of color there is on here, we're going to call value, and the different values are created by drawing a little darker on our paper. But you'll see that it's not terribly dark here, but then it transitions into a little darker, little darker, little darker, little darker, but it's just a smooth transition. You don't see anything that is done with a line representing the edge of a value. We see just a soft, smooth graduation of tone as it goes from lighter to darker. And then when it comes up this other side and it's going to start coming to where there's more light, you'll see that it's very smooth in its transition. And it just gradually gets lighter. There is no line here suggesting that there is a difference between one value and the other. Then you see the brightest area, which we'll call the highlight, the main highlight, and we want to know where that is. We want to be able to identify that brightest area. Because as we come down the other side, we'll see it get a little bit more value here, a little darker. Not much, but this is still on the lighted side, but it's because the paper surface, or whatever we're looking at, is angled in a different way and reflecting light back to us differently. So the place that is going to reflect the light the most is angled just like a mirror would back at us and reflecting light in a way that it appears brighter. So if we can see in and out, and we see a wonderful smooth transition from one color to the next, one value to the next, then we're going to know that this is a contour. Now, I want to be able to show you a few reference photos here and some very simple drawings that I hope will give you a clearer idea of how that translates into a person's face and probably anything else we want to look at. So now I have this fellow here with a full face perspective. We're looking right full face and we see nothing obstructing our view. And when we start seeing something obstructing our view, we start having a clean edge. When we see this clean edge here, it means that something is going past this part of the nose. We're going past it and we're going to go up and inside the nose. So we have a clean edge here. We have these outer edges of the nostrils on both sides that actually are blocking a little bit of the face where it joins, the nose joins the face. But here we have that wonderful opportunity now to show slight gradations. These are really important, otherwise we're not going to have dimension to the nose. We're going to show these slight gradations as far as showing a little darker or a little lighter, depending on what we're looking at, as far as a highlight or a shadow or a deeper recess or an angle to our contour, but nothing obstructs our view. So as we get down here, you'll see how I translate that into the drawing. Even though this is very simple and light, I have soft in and soft out of this gradation. I'm not demonstrating it with a line. Over here it's the same thing. As I go down the other side, there's an opportunity for me to suggest that it is a contour by having that wonderful transition in and out of that value. And then we have it contrasting again with the other clean edges here that help us to have additional value or additional dimension and a contrast with those wonderful contours that we've created. So let's go ahead and take a look at the next pose, the next perspective, and that is a 3/4. And we'll see what we can do with noticing what we're looking at, being able to recognize it, and taking advantage again of what constitutes a contour. The parts that we can see in and out of, that there's no obstruction, but there's some value changes because we still want to show contour. Nothing's ever the same value. And we come up the side of the nose and we come over to that edge and whoops, it goes around to the back side and we can't see. If there is something obstructing our view, or we can't see on the other side, on the back side of this nose, then we need to have a clean edge to our value. It's the same thing over here. We see some of the cheek and the lower part around the eye, and it comes down here all the way along this side of the face, and it's all a clean edge. Because again, we can't see it. We can't separate two dimensions without having a clean edge. And so here we have this nose, again, blocking a considerable amount of the face. And we also see much less of the face over here too because of the perspective we're looking at. So let's go ahead and take a look at another perspective, and that would be a profile. And I'll go ahead and select that. This whole thing is an uninterrupted surface. There's absolutely nothing blocking our view. But we know that when we see this clean edge over here, it is very important and helps us appreciate what we see here as far as a contour goes. It's a wonderful complement, a wonderful contrast to that, and I think it's probably one of the very best contrasts we can have is to show the difference between a value and a clean edge. So down here, I have shown the same thing. I've shown this clean edge going all the way along the profile of this man's face, and we know again that we have something out of our view. And we have the nostril, the opening of the nostril, that we show a clean edge because we're going up inside. Again, something is blocking our view. This part of the nose is blocking our view from what's inside. And so we have this demonstrated with a clean edge, and we come out with a shadow. And we have even this outer edge of the nostrils that is deep enough that we're showing it with a clean edge. So I know that these are very simple drawings, but I hope that that gives you a little bit of an idea. And then I want to show you this one more that I've developed quite a bit further. And I've taken this elderly woman and increased the values, incorporated a few more things. The more contrast that I was able to develop, it helps me get in some of the subtle things like some of these character lines. And we don't want these to become cracks. These again are contours. We want them to be complements. We want them to be able to go soft in and soft out. So they're just wonderful records of who she is and how much she's experienced in her life, let's say. And we just want them to be complements. I want you to know that these pictures that I've just shown you are a little bit of what's in the new How to Draw Noses series. That's available on 5pencilmethod.com very soon. And I want you to also know that it's different than these webcams. This webcam is just an opportunity for me to communicate as best I can, you know, and illustrate a few things. But we're doing these very professionally, and it's going to be like I've done my tutorials, where you'll watch me go through the whole process, describe things, and to be able to show you every little step to take. And you may look at these drawings and think, well, I've never even drawn before. And I want you to know that you can take advantage of those free lessons over on 5pencilmethod.com and take those, because they take you, even if you've never done anything. You don't even know what to do. You don't even know what pencils to use or what materials. I go ahead and explain everything that I use and let you go through step by step, learn it at your own speed, and have the opportunity to start building and putting them all together until you too can go ahead and draw what you see and do some wonderful things in incorporating realism into your drawings. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I look forward to being able to see you in the next demonstration, and I hope this has added some fun as you draw.